When does sending an email or a text message rise to the level of being a crime? What I'm talking about is harassing communications. And here's what the law says. I'm paraphrasing, of course. The law says that if you repeatedly call, email, text, or use electronic communication like social media for the purposes of harassing, intimidating, threatening someone or their family, it can be considered a crime. So breaking that down a little bit, first, the law does include the word repeatedly. So could that be just two? I think under some circumstances, potentially it could. It's going to depend on the facts. But normally we see more of a pattern of behavior. The second part is they're going to look at whether what was happening would be considered harassing, intimidating, or threatening to a reasonable person. The content is going to be part of it. I think that also they look at the timing, even if it's a relatively, minor message, if it's happening constantly, that could be enough. Also, if it's clearly threatening, you're going to be looking at potentially other crimes to be charged with in addition to harassing communication, like terroristic threats. That pattern could also rise to perhaps a stalking charge, and you can be charged with all of these things at once. The other thing that you need to know is the crime of harassing communications can be charged in more than one place, meaning if you are in, let's say, DeKalb County and you are sending harassing communication to someone in Cobb and they're receiving it in Cobb, then you could be charged in DeKalb or you could be charged in Cobb. Not both, usually, due to double jeopardy issues. Another thing that you need to be aware of is that we often see this used as the crime charged for cyberbullying. So yes, it could be applied to a juvenile in juvenile court, and it could be applied to adults in regular superior or state court. The last thing too is I want you to know there is a carve out in the law for protected First Amendment speech. But as you know from my prior videos, a lot of speech that rises to the level of a crime is not protected, like true threats, fighting words. So don't assume that you can say anything you want and then hide behind the First Amendment. If you feel like you are the victim of harassing communications, you need to talk to the police about whether it's something that someone could be arrested for. If you've been charged with harassing communications, you definitely need to talk to a lawyer. They're going to drill down on what happened, the content of the messages, whether it was really harassing, and whether the person that's claiming it has ulterior motives. We see that a lot. So just some things to think about when it comes to sending emails, text messages, and social media.